Just want to show you my new arm wrestling machine. I call this one the Terminator Pro arm wrestling machine. It's more of an exercise training machine, if anything. I made this dimension-wise about the same size as an arm wrestling table. That way when you're on this, you're going to feel like you're on a table. The machine's 40 inches high. The hand grip to your elbow pad is the correct distance, like it should be with a WAF table. Your hand grip is 6 inches high, 1 inch thick. I got the elbow pad is 7 by 7 by 2 inches high. On this one I actually have rubber rollers on the front that spin on bearings. These are made out of solid rubber. The cool thing about that is when you're exercising, if you're a guy that likes to stay in close and go up and down, you actually roll up on these rollers without bruising your stomach. Plus, with it being rubber rollers, whether you got a belt buckle on or not, you aren't going to scratch this, so you aren't going to damage it. The legs I made out of 2-inch round steel tubing, and on the very bottom they're supported to the frame with the 1/4 inch by 3 inch steel plate on both sides. This way you can wrap your legs around it or push wherever you want, but it's not going to move. It's pretty darn solid. The machine has a total of 29 bearings on it for smoothness. Let's see. Right now in this machine I have a total of 3 weight stacks on it. Each weight stack weighs 100 pounds. One weight stack is for side pressure, another one's for hand pressure, another one's for back pressure. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a couple minutes. Also on here, I have a safety bar right here. What that is for is if you're practicing left hand, that will keep your arm out of this area here so you don't have to worry about any accidents. And this machine is designed for left hand, right hand use. On the hand grip, I have it made square now. I used to have them around, but this one I've designed to be square, and I decided to go with this route. The nice thing about the square grip is you seem to get a better grip on it like that. So I decided to go with that. The tape that's on here is replaceable because eventually you will wear out this tacky grip tape. And you can get this tape at any decent sporting goods store, so that's not a problem. That just rip off the old tape, put on the new tape. And let's see, let me show you a little bit about how this thing works. Like I was saying earlier, with the way it pivots with this pad and X marks the spot, you can do so much more with this machine. If you got some guy that just wants to practice on his back pressure, just pulling back you can, which is easy enough, depending on how much weight you want to use. Other nice thing on this, I had 11 different adjustments for your side pressure. So if you want to go further down and say you want to start off in a losing position, practice in the losing position, put it all the way down there, and pull it towards you, and then put it down. Or, like I was saying, you got so much movement on this, if you decide you just want to put it down there, you can. If you want to bring it down to your corner, which some guys do, you can do that with this machine. That's the advantage about the pivot points that I have on this. Other machines you cannot do that. Most of them are just mounted here and up, so once you grab it, you can't really work your elbow around, let alone practice pulling it back. Or like some guys, put it back up here, they like to practice the back pressure where instead of just practicing like this, sometimes they want to stay up close and use their whole body and pull back, which is good too. Then you got that static hold where actually you're not really moving, you're just holding that weight, but you're using your body to pull it back. That's the cool thing about that. So, now I'll talk a little bit more about my 3 weight stacks. I had this down to a science when it comes to arm wrestling. Even though you're performing one exercise, you're actually using 3 different muscle groups. So on this, how I look at it is the first thing you're going to do is torque the handle up, which is your back, or your hand pressure, off the middle weight stack, which is for your hand pressure. It's a 100-pound weight stack, so you decide how much weight you want to use. So that's basically for your forearm to build that up for your hand pressure. Then you have your back pressure, which is for that. So you can set that at what resistance you want. And then you have your side pressure for pushing it down. So basically, once you grab it, you torque it up for your hand pressure, you bring it back for your back pressure, You put it down for your side pressure. And they all work in harmony. And there are stops on both sides for left hand, right hand, so it can only go down so far. But whether you got it here or you have it here, you're still going to have the same back pressure. It really doesn't matter. That's the nice thing about this design. I do have a counterweight here to actually counterbalance all the weight on this side, so basically this is pretty well leveled out. Now some of the other features on this is we'll talk about my static hold bar. Now this is for the guys. No, let's not put it in yet, just a moment. You see that? This I usually have laying up or hanging on the side of the machine. Now this is for the guy that just wants to practice just to hold a certain amount of weight. Like say you can put down 100 pounds, but you can usually hold more weight than you can put down. But say I put it on 100 pounds, or say my weight stack goes up more, say I want to put 120 pounds, but I know I can't push down 120, but I want to see if I can hold it, you can do that. So what you want to do first is you put this back in losing position, you put that on 120 pounds, then you have your partner, basically, first you torque it up where you want, then you have him slowly lift it up to the position you want. Then what you want to do is hold it, and then have him just slowly take the pressure off. Then you just practice holding, see how long you can hold that weight. And then I'm going to let it slowly down. The advantage to that is I've noticed that some guys, from watching guys arm wrestle, some guys are really strong right off the start. And the other guy might not be that strong, but the other guy has more of the endurance. So sometimes a smarter arm wrestler would just say, if I could just hold him at least for 30 seconds, not fight him so much, just hold him there. Even though, and you know he's stronger than you, but if you can at least hold him there for the 30 seconds or so, let him wear out. And usually you'll feel your opponent wear out. Then, when you feel like you're ready, then you can use your strength to put him down. Because you know he's already worn out. Because some guys are really strong right off the bat, and then after that they kind of wear out. So that's where this comes in, where you can practice just holding that weight up there. Practice on how long you can hold it, which is pretty cool. And then you have your partner let it down slowly, or let it down yourself slowly. But you use your whole body, not so much let it down that way. Just practice using your whole body to let it down. But that's a great exercise. Now another thing I made up on this is a little bit different. I know some guys, when I watch them, they have a problem with their elbow sliding off. So what I did on this is I gave it 3 different adjustments. So right here, that's your standard position right there where it should be. Say at the correct distance from here to here, and it's lined up like it should. But let's say you want that person to practice on keeping his elbow on the pad. So now I just moved the whole pad over an inch, which actually is a lot when you think about it. Now when I do this, my elbow's going to be closer right there to the pad, but I can kind of focus on keeping that elbow right there without letting it come off. So for the guy that wants to practice keeping his elbow on the pad, even though it's right on the edge, this is a good way to do it. And same thing, it's designed for left hand, right hand, so you can go an inch either way. That's just something little that I added to it. And let's see, what else can I talk about on this? The diamond plate I have on here is 1/8 inch. I used the extra heavy duty diamond plate. And let's see, I'll practice a little bit again. First you want to do is torque this up, pull it back, and do your side pressure. What you notice as I'm doing it, you should be able to see from the camera's view on how all 3 weight stacks are up, except for your side pressure. That one's going up and down as you're pushing it. Your back pressure, your hand pressure should already be up, but they don't really move that much because you've already torqued them up and you already have the pressure on it. Unless you're going to start off here and bring it towards you, which you can do with this machine. Another nice thing too, on my big pulley, which is for your side pressure, I have it designed like a cam. So say you have it at 90 pounds, by the time you get it all the way down, it's going to be about 100 pounds. It gives about 10% more resistance near the end due to the cam effect. Another thing on this machine I have is my hand grips I have sitting in bearings. There's 2 bearings on each side. This way for some guys when they want to practice, I've seen guys where they'll slip their hand off because normally the hand grips don't move. So you get an arm wrestling match, and you're trying to arm wrestle, as you're coming across the table like this, you have to let go a little bit just so your hand will move. But as you do, you're taking the chance of your hand slipping off. With these grips, since they're mounted in bearings, and on my arm wrestling tables that I sell, that's how I make the handles. You can just get a good solid grip. You never have to let go or loosen your grip because the handle will turn with you. So now you can practice and just keep a good grip and just work on pushing it down. The other nice thing about this machine too is you can try different things. Like I talked about the losing position. Maybe you just want to start at a basic losing position or go even further down. Some people I've seen that use this machine, they like to start all the way down like this because you might be good using this weight and maybe that weight, but I've seen that using that same weight but all the way down here, some guys can't do it. It's like you're working your muscles at a different angle. So for the guy that's trying to go all the way down here, sometimes they can't even do the normal weight that they use just because their muscles aren't used to being pulled in that direction. But I have this machine designed so even if you have it all the way down here, you can still get that full motion all the way down to stop. That's one of the reasons why I had these pulleys actually on top of the diamond plate, because I needed that extra movement of the cable. So same thing, I torque this up here, bring it back, push it all the way down. You can see all that movement I get. Same thing with the other side. Like I said, it's designed for left hand, right hand use. So for left hand use, you want to torque it up a little bit. You only need to torque it up about a half a turn, 3/4 of a turn, because now you got the pressure. Bring it back. I got my elbow right here. I got the safety rod here, so I don't have to worry about any incidents. And same thing, just put it down. Whether I want to put it down here, or as I'm bringing it back, I can put it down right here in the corner. Some guys like to bring their opponent right down in the corner right next to them. You couldn't practice that with this machine. The same thing like I was showing on the right hand. Say you want to practice your back pressure, but you want to kind of do it in a slightly different position, say from a losing position. So still torque it up, and say you just want to practice your back pressure. Whether you want to just practice like this, or like I said, some guys like to keep their arms together, or close, your hand close together, and bring it back and just use your whole body to do it. This way you aren't moving this at all. You're more or less just holding it, and you're just using your body to bring it back. And that's where these rollers come into play too, because this way when you're rolling back, you're just going right down on the rollers, but there's not a problem. Your shirt's not going to get stuck, your belt's not going to get stuck, you're not going to rip this, you're not going to bruise your stomach. Let's see. And I'm sure there's going to be some other ideas you can probably come up with when it comes to using this machine. Just once you start to use it, you'll realize, hey, I can do this on it, and I can do that on it. But it's a pretty tough machine. I've had it out already for testing, and I've had to just tighten up the cables a little bit on it since the cables were new. But that's been it. And that's it for the video.